Hello chess family, it's me, National Master Jesse James, and today we're going to be taking a look at rule number 6, do not bring your queen out too early. I know this is a problem for a lot of students out there, so let's go and take a look. What do you do if your opponent brings out their queen too early? Well, first thing we're going to be doing is making sure whenever the queen comes out, we defend whatever she's attacking. Once we know whatever she's attacking is either defended or we know it's okay for them to take, then we're going to go ahead and bring out our little pieces, the minors such as the knights and bishops, and try to get free tempos by attacking her. Now, although we may not win her, we're going to be able to get such a big lead in development, we can then concentrate on other weaknesses in Black's camp. We can attack the king, maybe even weak pawns. Let's take a look and see how Morphy does this excellently. So, in this game, while Morphy's playing the white pieces, he's playing again against James McConnell. Last time we saw him making too many pawn moves, now he's bringing out his queen too early. When will he learn? Here we go. Pawn e4, pawn e5. Knight f3, queen f6. Of course, this is not the best way to defend the pawn. The best way is going to be something like knight c6, just defending on e5. But again, this is do not bring your queen out too early. Queen f6 gets played. And here Morphy does a great job by developing pieces and getting ready to attack the queen. For instance, what do we do here to try and get a tempo off the queen or a free move? Well, which piece do we try to look for first? Develop knights before bishops. Knight c3 gets played. How does knight c3 get ready to attack the queen? Here with this simple move, knight c3, hopefully you see, knight d5 is getting threatened, a beautiful square in the center, and this attacks the queen. Here, James goes ahead and plays pawn c6, trying to stop this strong idea by Morphy. And, well, let's get the next piece out. Which one can we use to attack the queen? Well, we can use our bishops and even our pawns. So Morphy plays a very strong move to control the center, pawn to d4. This is again threatening to attack the queen because, well, we can play e takes on d4 next. So James went ahead and played e takes on d4. And, well, what do we do now? We could play something like bishop g5, but Morphy instead chooses this other strong idea, attacking the queen, pawn to e5. Notice how this knight is hanging here. Because we keep attacking the queen, there is no time for Black to actually take this knight. In fact, this knight will be en prise or free to take for quite a while. Well, free to take as long as we can take the queen, right? Well, Black goes ahead and moves the queen. Queen g6, develop with a threat. Here, the queen is on a light square, so we should use our light square bishop. But be careful, if we do move the bishop out, we'll stop defending on g2. That's okay. We're going to give away material to bring out our pieces. This is a very strong concept in chess. If you have enough pieces out, it doesn't matter if you're down a pawn, knight, bishop, even a queen sometimes, if your pieces are all very well developed. And here we go. Bishop d3 attacking the queen. The queen has no better move than to take the pawn. Queen takes on g2. So here we see the queen's attacking the rook on h1 and the knight on f3. There's only one threat though. Is the queen really going to take on f3? Of course not. The queen is just defending the knight. What about taking the rook on h1? Well, that is a real threat because the rook is unprotected. So what do? Develop with a threat. Here's simple chess. Where do you move the rook? The rook goes to g1, attacking the queen. The queen actually only has one square which they can move to. Queen h3 gets played. And let's keep harassing this queen. The rook again moves to attack her. Rook to g3. Queen to h5. And a little bit more harassment. Rook g5. Queen to h3. This is exactly where Morphy wanted it. Well, unfortunately for Morphy, he does not play the best move here. Can you find the best move here to keep making progress in this game? I'll give you a hint. It is a bishop move. We're either going to play bishop f5 or bishop to f1. Which one should we play? Unfortunately for Morphy, he does play bishop f1, which was not the best move here. The best move would have been bishop to f5, attacking the queen. Because, well, when you bring your bishop back to f1, you're underdeveloping it or putting it back where it started at. And, well, we didn't develop our pieces to do that, right? So bishop f1 gets played. Queen goes to e6. And now let's keep attacking the queen and keep winning material. What do we play here? It's finally time to grab this pawn. Should we take with the queen? Should we take with the knight? Of course, we're going to take with the knight here because we get another free tempo because we're attacking the queen. Queen takes is also a good move, and it also develops a piece. But the queen is not doing too much on this square. We want to keep harassing this queen. So knight takes d4 gets played. Queen to e7. And now a nice move here. Knight to e4. What is White's idea here? Well, White would have liked to have played something like knight f5 here. But after this, queen can take on e5 check. Now White's still winning because of development, because they have a lot of pieces out. But there's no need to give up material without getting something back. So that's why Morphy instead plays knight to e4. The difference being is, yes, the queen can take in check here, but now we have some ideas about winning it back, winning this queen. Also, this knight on e4 makes a strong threat. Can you see what white's threatening? Hopefully you see it. The knight's threatening to go to d6 check here to attack the king, and as the pawn's defending it, well, the king's not going to be able to stay there. It's going to have to go to d8, and the queen cannot take because the pawn defends, so black just loses the right to castle. Well, black's turn. Black is just not learning here. He plays pawn to h6 attacking the rook. Waste the time here. Here another nice move by Morphy. Knight to f5. Ooh, this was actually a mistake by Morphy. Can you find the move that Morphy missed? Black to move and win a piece. Even great chess players make mistakes, and unfortunately for Morphy, this was his. Here, black could have played queen b4 check, attacking both the knight and the king. Yes, we can save the knight by playing something like knight c3, but now this rook is hanging, so we can go ahead and take. Oh my gosh. Morphy would have been a little embarrassed after this simple mistake. Fortunately for him, his opponent missed this. He played queen e6, and now let's attack the king. What do we play here? Look for those checks. Let's stop this king from castling. Let's stop this king and not let him castle. Knight d6 check. Bishop takes. Knight d6 check. And king over. Develop with a threat. Let's keep harassing this queen. We're not going to move this rook. Hint, the queen is on the light square. What piece can we develop here and attack the queen? Again, we're just keep harassing this queen and keep developing pieces here. Hopefully you found the piece we want to move. Now where do you move it to? Here the bishop goes to c4, attacking the queen. Of course, we see the knight is defending this bishop. And also, you see that the knight and bishop are now attacking the f7 pawn. What does black play here? Black went ahead and played queen e7. Well, free money's free money. Knight takes on f7 check. King to d6. Develop with a threat here. What do we play? Where's the check at? Here some people think about playing something like bishop f4, but be careful. H takes on g5 here. Yes, white is still winning here, but there's a stronger move to play here. In fact, there's actually a mate in 6 here if you play just correctly here. Any other checks that you see? Here, believe it or not, queen to d6 check. Typically, we wouldn't want to trade queens here, but after calculating or looking ahead by looking at all the moves that will happen forced, we do see that there is a forced checkmate. So, queen d6 check gets played. Well, you pretty much have to take back. If the king goes to b6, it's kind of what will happen in the game. Bishop e3 check will get played, and you can see the mate is not too far away from happening. I don't want to ruin it, as in other variations. So black went ahead and took. And should we take back with the pawn, or should we take with the knight? Of course we take in check. Pawn takes on d6 check. King goes to b6. Develop with a threat. What do you play here? Bishop e3 check. And is this checkmate? Nope. Perform CPR, capture, protect, run. Here black can play c5. Notice here, that's the only move that you can play. So c5 has to get played here. And look for the check. Where is it at? Of course, bishop takes c5 check, and the king must run to a5 here. What happens if we go to c6? Can you see the mate in 1 here? Hopefully you found it. You're just going to go ahead and play knight to d8 check and mate. You have to be careful. For instance, if you try to play something like bishop d5 check, you just blocked your rook from defending the bishop, so king will take. Still winning here, but making things much more complicated. So in the game, king can't go to c6 because knight d8 checkmate, so the king has to go to a5. I challenge you to push pause and see if you can find the forced checkmate in 2 moves here. Alright, hopefully you found it. Again, there's many moves to be played here. Most people are going to be looking at pawn b4 check. Now this is still winning, but it's just going to take a lot longer to checkmate. The king gets to run down to a4. And if you play bishop b3 check, king a3 gets played again. This just goes on, and it's just going to get harder and harder to do this. It's checkmate in 2. Find the best way to do this. Here, we see the rook's under attack, so we want to move it. So we simply play rook to g3. And there's no stopping rook to a3 checkmate. You can't block with any pieces. These bishops are just taking up all the squares around the king. Another beautiful game by Morphy. Remember, this is do not bring your queen out too early. I'll see you in the next one.